I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. And during the 80s and 90s, kids were getting kidnapped pretty rapidly. And look, I'm not trying to say we were more desirable or something. I think we were outside more. A lot more opportunity, you know. Also a lot easier to get us into vans. Didn't take much. And so parents back then, they would watch TV, and I think it would scare the parents. You know, you realize like now everything's a crime show. Everything that you watch is crime, podcasts are crime, movies are crime. You almost like see it so much. But back then, you only had so many channels. And then when they would watch these shows, they were very powerful shows. My parents used to watch a show called Rescue 911. And it would just show reenactments of crimes. And it was powerful. I've seen 3 seconds of Rescue 911. I remember walking through the living room. My parents are watching it. I look at the TV. A guy has a ski mask on, and a woman is asleep with her feet out from under the covers, and he started rubbing her foot. That's all I saw. I kept walking. I don't know what happened before or after, but I know I've never been able to sleep with my feet out from under the covers because I accidentally saw that 30 years ago. And my feet get so hot, and I want to put them out so bad. I mean, I try it every night for 30 years, and then that image pops in my head, and I yank them right back under. I'll be in a hotel room, and I'm like, look, you can't get in here, dude. You've locked everything. And I'm like, that's exactly what he's been waiting for. He's probably already in here. So my parents, I think, watched a Rescue 911 where a kid went missing. So it got them scared. They were like, I think they took it as like, look, you guys are getting kidnapped. There's nothing we can do. It's happening. So they wanted us to be prepared for it. So instead of like, I don't know, self-defense, give us a gun, I don't know, something. What they did was like, you know, you always hand out flyers if a kid goes missing. They were like, let's just get that flyer ready. We'll just do that, you know? So if a kid goes missing, they always have a flyer. They put a picture of the kid and all the information below the flyer. So the height, weight, eye color, all that stuff. So instead of making a flyer, what they made us do was we wrote on a piece of paper our name, height, weight, eye color, and then we just held it up against the wall, and they just took a picture of us. So the picture is us holding our own information. And they said, well, when the cops are like, hey, let's get a flyer ready, we're going to be like, well, we've been rooting for this to happen. We already have one made. And they're like, we'll give that to the police. Which, if we would have been kidnapped, my parents would be in prison right now. No one's going to believe you pre-took pictures. I mean, they're going to just look at this and be like, all right, just tell us where the kids are at. That would be the easiest thing to do. I've never seen this ever. They had to go get that printed at Walmart, too. You couldn't do that at home. You had to go show people that you're crazy. We walked in Walmart, and the guy was probably like, hey, do you think I could talk to your kids by themselves for a little bit? I'd love to just chat with them.
I live in Nashville, and I travel a lot of hotels. Every hotel I go in, I ask if they have a gym. Like, I'm like, you guys got a gym? I don't even have clothes to work out in. And it's just because other people are standing there, so I like to ask. I don't work out. I don't know if I have to say it. I'm lazy. I realized how lazy I was. I was watching a football game once, and I'm sitting on my couch, and I was going to get something to drink out of the refrigerator. And right when I get up to go get something to drink, one team kicked off to the other team. And before I could get back, the guy ran a 100-yard kickoff return, and I missed it. That guy ran 100 yards before I could get 3 to maybe 4 yards. He also had 11 people really trying not to let him run 100 yards. I don't even have an ottoman. It was wide open. Couldn't make it. I did play sports growing up, though. I tried to play basketball for my high school, but I got cut every year. So I had to play for my church, because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. Or maybe they could cut you, I don't know. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. And he is our captain. I played baseball too. When I was 13, I was playing baseball. And one time I was up to bat, and I get walked. So I take my base, I get to first base, and I turned around, and the catcher was still standing there, and he was holding the ball. He's like staring at me. Like he was like daring me to run. Like he was like, just go, I bet you can't make it. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna go. So I just ran. When I ran, he threw it, overthrew second base. Ball goes in the outfield. So then I run to third base. The outfield grabs the ball. They overthrow third base. My third base coach is telling me to go home. This is about to be an inside the park home run off a walk. I'm gonna be on SportsCenter. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in baseball. And I slide, there's a play at the plate, and that's when the umpire tells us that it was only ball 3. I swear. True story. So we all have to get up. I'm like dirty for no reason. I gotta go get my bat. It's right where I left it. I gotta just drag it. I gotta bat again. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch, immediately strike out. I'm exhausted and over baseball. And I just looked at the ump and he was like, you can go now. Here's what I learned though that day. I learned that if you're confident, you can get away with quite a bit. Because no one tried to stop me, and they should have, you know? They knew I wasn't supposed to go. That's why the catcher was holding the ball, because he was like, I don't think he's supposed to be going yet, right? And then I just ran to second. He's like, I guess I'm wrong. No one's that dumb, you know? And then he just launches it into the outfield, who's barely paying attention. They think it's a hit, and the umpire figures it out, but it's just easier to let me get all the way back to him, you know? Let me feel what it would feel like. You know what's great too? No one ever told the parents. They never explained it to them. They were cheering. It's a pretty exciting play to watch. And then they just see me slide into home and then just stand up and bat again. And they just are like, is that just a rule in baseball? I don't even know. All right, thank you guys so much.
I remember I would fall out of a bunk bed. I slept in a bunk bed. I was on the top bunk, and I would get over a railing and just fall 6 feet to the ground and just land. I mean, you don't catch yourself. It's just whatever hits first. All your body weight just lands on your head. I got a full-blown concussion. I'm crying. My parents are like, just go back to a deep sleep for 7 hours. I've had 3 concussions in my life, and none of them because of sports. Just living life, man, you know? Stuff happens to your head. What are you gonna do? One was in high school. I got pushed into a wall head first, and it took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table. I mean, 2 teachers didn't even notice, and the third one was like, he wasn't facing forward, and that's when I realized he's one of the better facer forwards I've ever had. So I knew. My biggest concussion was when I was 12 years old. I fell down a cliff. So I grew up in Old Hickory, Tennessee, and we used to climb down this cliff into Old Hickory Lake, and we'd done it a ton of times. And so one day I slip and fall. So my friend that I'm with, he goes and gets my mom. There was a guy fishing in a boat down in the lake, and so he sees me, and he gets me into the boat. And then he takes me over to some stairs, which he had to be like, why didn't he just use these stairs? I mean, they were right next to that cliff. Like, it didn't even make sense. There was 2 guys at the bottom of the steps, and he goes, hey, this kid fell. Can you carry him up? So they carry me up, and my mom's in an ambulance in her pajamas. My dad, who I think everybody knows now is a magician, and he's doing a show in a full tuxedo. So when they get to the hospital, the doctor starts talking to my parents. I mean, my mom looks homeless. My dad's in a tuxedo. It looks like they're divorced and someone's not paying child support.
Thank you, everybody. That was unbelievable. I don't know, I get to travel a bunch. I've been to like a bunch of different countries. I don't know where any of them are, or even where. I didn't learn about countries in school, so I just learned about Tennessee, and then I was told about the states that touched us in case they attacked. And that was basically it. I just went to Honduras. We did a USO tour for the troops in Honduras. That's where it's going down next. And yeah, they told me. They haven't even told America yet, but it's fine. I went there. I go to the airport, and I told the guy, I was like, hey, I'm going to Honduras. And the guy was like, what city? And I was like, I'm just learning right now that's not the name of the city. So Just wherever people are going, probably. I didn't know you were gonna grill me about it. We land in Honduras, the guy picks us up. He's driving us to the army base. And then, so when we get out there, he's like giving us a rundown of like everything. And so when he was like, all right, there's a couple things you gotta look out for. There's a lot of snakes, a lot of venomous snakes. So he's like, when you walk around, just keep an eye out for snakes. But if you do get bit by a snake, the best thing to do is just go ahead and just catch the snake and then bring it with you so then we know like what snake bit you. And I was like, I'm pretty positive, like that's not what you're supposed to do. I've never seen that on Animal Planet or something, like just catch a snake. I've never caught a snake in my life, and then when I get bit, I gotta get it together and catch a snake for the first time. I was like, it's not gonna go good, dude. He's gonna keep biting me. That's all that's gonna happen. And he was like, it doesn't matter, you've already been bit. And I was like, do you even know what a snake is? It completely matters. There's a huge difference between one bite and probably 30 bites, which is what we will be at if I try to catch this snake. Who told you this? The snake? Is that who told you to tell me this? Whose side are you on? I watch a lot of animal stuff. Like I keep in, I watched a thing on, this was on 60 Minutes. They did an undercover reporting about tigers. Like you can buy tigers. Like if anybody wants a tiger, I can give you a lead with a guy that will sell you a tiger. And my favorite part though, they asked him, they were like, hey, do you think it's too easy to buy a tiger in this country? And the guy was like, yeah, it's like way too easy. And that was my favorite part, That's why America's the best, all right? Where else can you go? I didn't even know you could buy tigers. I didn't even know that. I would have been embarrassed to ask. And then 1 second later, I'm like, I don't really have to jump through hoops if I do want to buy a tiger. It's not an all-day thing. It's like an hour. I'll be right back with our tiger. And the big thing, everyone wants to get rid of guns, But what makes me nervous about taking guns away from people is because those are the exact same people that will buy tigers. And I think that's going to be a much bigger problem, all right? I think you'll probably be like, look, here's your gun back. And they'll be like, no, I'm good. My tiger is way better than my gun. My gun missed all the time. My tiger rarely misses. Even if he does miss, it's just for a second, it's never long. Like if a guy dodges the tiger and he's like, your dumb tiger missed, it's like, well, he did not. He is right behind you now. And he is furious about it. So.